Now to our chief legal analyst, Dan Abrams, our chief White House correspondent, Karl. And John, let me begin with you. The president's personal strategy is on display. We saw it all day yesterday, continue to attack the Bidens at every possible opportunity. But inside the White House, are they prepared for this impeachment battle?
The short answer is no. They had prepared leading up to Mueller. They brought in Emmett Flood, who had experience in the Clinton impeachment. He's now gone. I get the sense that they did not think this was coming. I know they didn't think this was coming because for months they had been telling us they didn't think that Nancy Pelosi would go there. This happened with lightning speed. They do not have the infrastructure either in the White House counsel's office or in the White House communications office to deal with it.
And you heard it in the president's voice yesterday at that last press conference where he said almost ruefully, I thought impeachment was dead.
He did not think this was happening. And it's interesting. You say he's defiant, absolutely defiant, but he seems a little bit spooked by it all and a little bit, uncharacteristically, kind of deflated and not in the fighting mode. I'm sure he will get there, but right now he's freaked out by this.
Understandably, Dan, it seems like, and the White House is facing some second guessing over releasing that memo of the phone call because it does include damaging information.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's any way to read that and not say it's bad for the president. You may say it's not necessarily a crime. You may say it shouldn't be impeachable, but there's no way to fairly read that and not say that this is a potential problem. The question now becomes, what can they do moving from that phone call out? So is there going to be other evidence that comes forward to suggest, just as Tom is talking about, effectively what is a quid pro quo, meaning we're not going to even talk to you unless we're talking about the Bidens? Did they, most importantly, link those dollars that were supposed to go to Ukraine to something coming from the Ukrainian government? And those are the key questions now. So the phone call is really now the starting point, and they're going to be moving out from there to see, is there any other evidence that could be even more problematic?
Dan says the starting point, John, and we're going to have new information within the hour.
Yeah.
This whole whistleblower complaint is going to be declassified, will be public, and according to some reports, it included conversations the whistleblower may have had with White House officials. That's new witnesses.
New witnesses, and we understand the Inspector General interviewed other witnesses. This goes beyond the phone call, but I think an important point on this question of a quid pro quo, there is an issue here, a potentially impeachable issue, regardless of whether or not there was any effort at a quid pro quo. Simply the idea of the president asking a foreign leader to work with his attorney general to investigate a political rival.
No question that's
in and of itself.
No question that's the case legally, right? Legally, you could still have a campaign finance violation just by solicitation alone. But it certainly makes it more persuasive as a political matter, the more you can show this for that.
Yeah, and I think the other big thing to watch for today is, does this acting director of national intelligence, who did make the criminal referral to the Justice Department, does he believe that this phone call put national security at risk? That could also be a big moment depending on his conclusion.
Yeah.
Thank you both very much.